Welcome to the Business, Finance, and Justice Committee meeting. Today is Thursday, November the 2nd, 2023. I call this meeting to order at 3 o'clock p.m. Invocation, Representative Randall Hicks, please. Thank you, Representative Hicks. Roll call, Legislative Clerk April Lindsay.
Patrick Freeman.
Here.
Sandra Golden. Randall Hicks.
Present.
Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Present.
Mark Randolph.
Present.
Madam Chair, you got 5 present and 0 absent.
We have 5 present and 0 absent. This constitutes a quorum. All business conducted will be valid. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes from October the 12th, 2023 and October the 28th, 2023. I'll entertain a motion when the committee is ready.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the minutes with any changes as necessary.
We have a motion to approve the minutes from Representative Hicks with any changes necessary. Do I have a second? We have a second from Representative Golden. Discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. The minutes of October the 12th, 2023 and October 28th, 2023 are approved. Next item on the agenda is order of business. TR 23-120, a tribal resolution of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to execute a terms, conditions, and warranty information agreement with Transcend Robotics for the Light Horse Police Department. Sponsors Representative Randall Hicks.
Madam Chair, motion do pass.
We have a motion for due pass from Representative Hicks. Do I have a second? We have a second from Representative Randolph. Discussion? Representative Hicks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe we have Captain Richard Phillips and Deputy Chief Daniel Wynn here to elaborate on the legislation.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Okay. Hey, Representative Hicks, committee. TR 23-120 is the requesting approval of the warranty to utilize our robot that we have to breach doors for our special operations team. Hopefully it'll help to reduce damages to some people, our citizens' doors as we go to breach doors. It's got a hydraulic ram affixed to it that can spread the doorway out so we can push the door open to go in after perpetrators. But this is not going to be able to be utilized until we get this warranty approved and signed by Miko Hill.
Thank you, Chief Phillips. Is there any questions regarding this legislation? Representative Golden?
Thank you. Is there this robot, is it located here in Okmulgee or at one of our sites?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. It is here. It's actually, we have a special operations building that we're utilizing right now at the old IHS building. That's where we have all our special operations equipment. I believe that's where we're storing it now.
So
It's here. Yes, ma'am.
so you store it here, but you're able to use it anywhere?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And how long have we had it?
What do we have, about 3 months? 3 months now? It recently just came in. They just actually assembled it. It came in parts.
So which program did this come under? I know that there's been lots of grants and lots of different things that y'all have put together to get this equipment and different things. And so I just wondered what grant this was under, kind of like you did with the drones.
Afternoon. That grant, or the grant that we received, where we were able to receive this, is actually under that same grant with the drones. It's all one package, so that included the drones for Light Horse, the drones for for Bobby Howard, and then this. This also includes training, and there were some other things that were attached to it. But as Chief Phillips said, we won't be able to utilize it until we get the warranty. Eventually, also, not only are we going to utilize it as a breaching tool, but we're awaiting confirmation to attend the FBI bomb school, where we'll be able to really utilize it.
So, what is I know it has to be insured, correct? And so what are the policies and the guidelines for the use of the equipment?
Before, as we were doing the grant, we actually had to have those already those policies and procedures are in place.
So those were already approved and everything is done, approved by the commission, and now this is just the last piece of it?
Yes, ma'am. That's why we were able to receive it and receive the initial training and put it together and so forth. So and this is the last piece of the puzzle, if you will.
And the reason I'm asking is because there, in Oklahoma County, people are asking about who's using drones and who has authority to do these things. So I told them I didn't think it was Creek Nation, but I know drones are being purchased by Creek Nation with some department.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all had to approve that before we purchased it. Like I said, this was part of that package, so y'all would have had to approve it before we started flying the drones. But we have currently, as far as the drone program within Light Horse, we're getting ready to purchase the drones, but also understand, as I mentioned, under Bobby Howard, he also received some drones, and then there's other entities within the tribe that also have drones. So everyone has to have a policy, and part of that policy is also having to go through the FAA to receive pilot's license and so forth. So there's been a lot of work into this before we even launch.
And even more than that, to me, because of the invasion of privacy on our reservation, we have to have laws. And I remember asking the Attorney General about that. Have you guys been working with the Attorney General on laws?
Just one quick question. Does the drones have anything to do with this legislation?
No, ma'am, not at all.
Okay, we're going to move on. Is there any other questions regarding this legislation? Representatives in attendance or online, any questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Andrew Golden. Madam Chair, you got 3 in favor and 1 against.
We have 3 in favor, 1 against. TR 23-120 passes. At this time, I'll relinquish the chair to Representative Sandra Golden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item on our agenda is NCA 23-130, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 26, Chapter 2, subsection 2-201, E, entitled Compensation. Sponsor, Thomasine Yehola Osborne. This was postponed on 10/12/23.
Motion for due pass.
We have a motion for a due pass by Thomasine Yehola Osborne. Second by Randall Hicks. Discussion? Ms. Osborne?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Wiley?
Thank you to the committee. Excuse me. Well, I was here last month, as you recall. I've sent a memo out since then, and I think the memo addresses some of your questions from last month, but if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to address them.
Okay, I have been told that our NCA 23-130 has a substitute. Give the sponsor time to change it.
Yeah, we do have the substitute in front of us. Okay, I want to make a motion for a due pass, the substitute for NCA 23-130.
We have a motion to exchange for the substitute. Is that your, and, Mr. Randall Hicks also seconds this motion. So now we have a discussion. Mr. Wiley, you were answering information that's already here.
Yes.
You submitted that. Does anyone have any questions? Council in the audience? Council online? Are there any questions? That would call for the question. Roll call vote.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
No.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
No.
Madam Chair, there's a tie vote, 2 in favor and 2 against. You get to vote. Sandra Golden.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 2 in favor and 3 against.
So that motion failed. Turn this seat back over to our chairperson, Thomasine Yohola Osborne. Next one's hers. Okay, sorry, I can't see. I can't see with my glasses on. The next item on our agenda is NCA 23-142, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the United States Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs, Office of Justice Services, fiscal year 2024 Indian Highway Safety Program Grant Award for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation's Light Horse Police Department. Sponsor, Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Motion for due pass?
Have a motion for a due pass. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark Randolph. Discussion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mhm. Chief Phillips?
Okay, again. With this grant, 23-142, this is a Indian Highway Safety Grant. With this one, it'll allow us to hire 2 officers specifically for our traffic enforcement, highway enforcement, speeding, things of that nature. This will allow for us to hire 1 data clerk that keeps track of all the documentation that these officers are going to be incurring while they're running traffic across our reservation. And it'll allow us to purchase 2 pursuit vehicles, 3 radars, be able to put signage up on billboards to show that we are doing a national mobilization across our reservation to enforce said traffic laws and speeding. This grant is for 1 year, and it's for one year, and it allow the officers to also go to the highway safety grant training as mandated by the grant.
Any questions for Chief Phillips? Representatives in the audience online? No questions? Roll call vote.
Thomasine Yohola Osborne,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
That legislation has passed, and I will send the chair back over to Thomasine Yohola Osborne.
Thank you, Representative Golden. NCA 23-143, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of grant funds awarded from the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Justice Programs 2023 Patrick Leahy Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation Light Horse Police Department. Sponsors, Representative Mark Randolph.
Motion to pass.
A motion for due pass from Representative Randolph.
Second.
We have a second from Representative Hicks. Discussion, Representative Randolph.
Okay, Representative Randolph. With this one, it'll allow us to purchase one vest, one bulletproof vest, and it requires a one-to-one match. It only pays for half of the purchase of one vest. That's what this one is.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Representative Golden?
So do you already have some of these, or if this is, you're just trying this out? It's one vest?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
We actually already have another grant that, over the next 3 years, we're buying 20 to 30 new vests. So we're replacing our older vest with the newer vest. With the influx of hiring that we're anticipating, we went on ahead and applied for this grant as well. I don't recall off the top of my head how many we had originally asked for, but this is what we received. And again, with the amount that we're going to be hiring, we felt one is better than zero. So we're happy to be able to utilize that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Any questions from the representatives online or in attendance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
yes,
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
Have 4 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-143 passes. At this time, I'll relinquish the chair to Representative Sandra Golden.
Thank you, Representative Chair. The next item that we have on the agenda is NCA 23-144, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, fiscal relief funding from the United States Department of Treasury for the benefit of security on the tribal complex. Sponsor, Thomasine Yahola Osborne.
Motion for due pass.
Motion for a due pass by Ms. Osborne. Second by Mark Randolph. Discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Harjo?
Yes.
Could you elaborate on this legislation, please? It's a 23-144 for the benefit of security on the tribal complex.
Yes, so the executive office identified a need for enhanced security, just in general on the government complexes, and to the extent that we probably needed to outsource it as opposed to continuing to pose a burden on the Light Horse Police at this time. Due to these expenses were previously covered under standard ARPA appropriations, but because the public health emergency has ended, they no longer fit under that kind of administrative eligibility category. So to fulfill this request for the next year, we're requesting, or the executive office is requesting, the appropriation of revenue replacement dollars that can be appropriated. They are ARPA funding in nature, but they can be appropriated for nearly any purpose. But to do so for the next fiscal year, with the intention that in that time, potentially the Light Horse Police will staff up to be able to cover some of these ongoing safety needs, or that an additional tribal budget will supplement this kind of safety security need on the tribal government complex moving forward.
Are there any questions? Mr. Hicks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Harjo.
Sorry.
When security's budget came through, not Light Horse, Chief Security, when their budget came through, did they not request additional funding for employees? And didn't we not approve them to purchase another vehicle and staff?
I believe so, but that would be a question, I believe, for the executive office. This request, I believe, is an additional, of course, to what was recently requested.
Just trying to picture why we're doing this, close to $1 million when we already increased their budget for, I know, a vehicle, and I thought they were gonna hire 2 more staff. So, and then my next question would be, how did we get this company? Did we do bids? Was this a sole source bid for this company? Questions you can't answer, I guess.
Sorry about that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Representative Hicks?
Yes.
Hello, this is Chief Hill. Yes, there was 3 bids had put in, and Bobby Howard was kind of going through everything. And we do have 2 that we submitted originally on their budget, and those 2 for what we had anticipated was the McCombs building and one at Safe Space. But I had spoken with Speaker about this several months ago, 6, 7 months ago, when the increase of the court cases that was coming, that I know they had hired their own, but instead of, as Zach was saying, instead of having the Light Horse Police Department come every time, that security, I think there's 5 listed on there. And it would cover 2 in the evening shift. Cause we've had some departments, had their, Cadillac converter cut off. So we having to security driving around. And plus also with the foot traffic that we're having now in the realty department and citizenship, we felt like for security reason that we needed to have someone stationed at each department. We also had probably 6, 7 months ago, an individual tried to force their way into the finance department. So that was the reason on security. Now, this security, like I said, as Zach had mentioned, go for a year just to see how it's going to turn out, kind of like a trial. But we do have 2 more, and we've already put the positions out to hire 2 additional for now for under the complex security, under executive branch. So there's 3 total. So those kind of 2 separate things, but we just felt like to have more security, it's hard to get vehicles now. Because I know with Light Horse have put in for a bunch of vehicles, and this security firm is going to supply the uniforms, their equipment, their guns and everything, and also the vehicles. So all of that is included in that. I mean, they're going to cover everything, just pretty much turnkey to hire them, and they should be quick to go. So I think Second Chief is on the call too, so he may elaborate a little bit more. And I wish Bobby could have got on the call, because he pretty much vetted all through and try to see which one would be the best. But I think there was 3 bids that came in.
Are there any other questions? Council online? Question? Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Man, this is a tough one. I don't know if I could go $1 million for 1 year testing something out. I'm not opposed to giving 1 million to the Light Horse and let them do the job. I mean, they already have everything, but that's just my opinion. So I probably won't support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Are there any other questions, any other comments? Mr. Randolph?
Chief, can you talk about this? How does it affect the Light Horse? Are you all able to handle it, or what's your stance on this? How do you feel?
Yes, I was actually just having some discussion with the Deputy Chief. Even though we do get the security permit, they're still going to be holding my commission. They're still going to fall under me. Correct? Isn't that how we?
Speak into the mic. We didn't hear you.
Sorry about that. So on the security side, they won't fall underneath this?
Are placed under light horse. Unless they are put under light horse as police officers, we would not be able to commission them as police officers. They would security.
Again, I don't know what all that would entail as far as, I mean, are they just gonna be, say like our casino security? I don't know what all their duties are gonna entail. If they'll be able to have the laws to just detain somebody, us come and get them, so I don't know, I guess it just depends on circumstances and how they falls.
That answer your question, Mr. Randall?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to postpone until the next BF&J meeting so that they could possibly get together and see if this is something that the Light Horse might be able to do. So again, that motion.
Motion has been made to postpone this legislation for 1 month for our next BF&J meeting. Is there a second? Second by Randall Hicks. Roll call.
Thomasine Hola Osborne,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
That motion, that legislation is passed, and I will give the chair back to Ms. Osborne.
Failed.
I am so sorry. It was not passed. It was postponed.
Thank you, Ms. Golden. NCA 23-145, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 50, subsection 1-107, entitled Commission Composition. Sponsor Representative Sandra Golden.
Motion for a due pass.
We have a motion for due pass from Representative Golden. I have a second. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a-
Second.
We have a second from Representative Freeman. Discussion? Representative Golden?
Yes, I'm looking for somebody from the commission.
This is William Nguyen from the commission.
Oh, Mr. Nguyen, thank you. I'll give you time to explain the legislation that has come forward.
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to come before you this afternoon. The commission, since its inception, has always been delinquent in terms of having individuals to fulfill the full capacity of 5 members. The composition of the commission is 2 select by the National Council, 2 selected from the off. Over time, we've seen where people have been brought forth and been, and from our understanding as well, been talked to about, but because there are certain requirements that they didn't fulfill to be a commissioner, a lot of the commission membership has been unfilled at this time. One of the requirements is to be a Creek citizen, specifically to be an enrolled member, excuse me, a full citizen of Muskogee Creek Nation. It appears to that we're not able to find someone like that, so we would like to open it up to someone who's a member of a federally recognized tribe, which would give us a little more opportunity to see more candidates, more applicants for this position, and as in a quicker fashion, so we could have a full commission. Currently, we have three fulfilled commissioners right now, but we're still missing 2. And I've been on commission since January, and we haven't seen any movement towards adding one of the 2 current commissioners. And so we think that amending this, the requirements for it would help us, one, find commissioners who could fulfill the requirements, as well as get us up and running totally, so we can be a full commission. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Is there any questions for Mr. Nguyen?
I don't have any questions, but I've attended several of their meetings, and I do know that they have had to reschedule their meetings because something happened with one of the commissioners and they couldn't be there for the meeting. And it does affect their ability to be effective and efficient in the business that needs to be done for the Light Horse. And right now, with all of this activity going and adding new people, one of my concerns is, you know, the policies and procedures that need to be looked at and make sure that they're in place, especially since we're getting things like these robots and drones and those kinds of things. And so it's, to me, this helps us with our checks and balances to make sure that we're working and we're supporting our commission. And most of all, we're helping the risk of our reservation. We have to have safety and security and protection for our citizens across the board. And if it's hamstringing our Light Horse Police and their commission to do their job, you know, then we need to make some changes. And that's why this came forward.
Committee, are there any questions, concerns? Representative Hicks?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Right.
Mr. Nguyen,
Yes, sir.
do you know, out of the 3 members, do you know if they were appointed by chief, council, or was it commission selection? Do you know that?
Yeah, I was appointed by Chief Hill and Commissioner, the other 2 commissioners were appointed by the council.
Okay. So council has their 2 slots. Chief needs 1, and then the commission needs 1, or they select the 5th one, correct?
Yes, sir.
My concern with this legislation is there's 60 days to fill these slots. So right now you have 2, and if this passes in 60 days, nobody's selected, then it's up to the commission to select who they want. So who's to say who they're going to select? Because it's not going to come through council for approval. Well, that concerns me. I have an issue with that. So, that being said,
Well,
I can't support this at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Hicks. Is there any other questions? Any questions from the representatives online or in attendance?
Representative Osborne.
Please. Second
Mr.
Chief?
Second Chief.
Go ahead, sir.
Just one quick question. I was looking at the legislation. It says that either it has to be a full citizen of Muskota Creek Nation, or the amendment says, or a member of any other federally recognized tribe. And so, so it still has to be either a quarter blood for a Muskogee citizen to be on there, but you can be basically 1/1000th of any other tribe to be on this commission. So why would we want somebody, wouldn't it make more sense if we just took out a full citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation? That way it opened up more to more people instead of opening it up to more people outside of the nation.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, that seems a little bit makes more sense to me. If you're looking for people, then why don't you just open up to everybody within the nation instead of everybody that's another nation?
Does anybody
Thank
have?
you.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have any questions? Representative Randolph?
I'd like to give some time to Chief Hill.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. I'm glad that Second Chief had mentioned that. After Renee had to resign, it's been difficult trying to find someone because they have to make sure that they're allowed to serve on that, especially get approval from their higher ups. And the names that have been suggested to me was a concern because I have to look on what agencies have been wanting to work with the nation. There was individuals from Highway Patrol, different different PD departments that has not been cross-dep yet, and also Tulsa. So there's been names sent to me, but I have to look at it as a whole too. Are they willing to work with the nation? So some of these names that have been provided to me, there's no cross-dep with the nation. Now I do have one select, I'll probably get, just to verify within the next 10, 15 days, I will submit the fourth person. Again, it is a very good point if you took out the full citizen. And probably just remove the other enrolled member of federally recognized tribe. That would open the doors up. But I will have one selected within the 10, 15 days just to verify that they are able to serve as a commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions? Representative Golden?
Yes, I guess I would like to ask the chief, the names that have come up, have they been full citizens that you have looked at?
Probably two of them.
So I guess this is not a question, it's just a comment, but I'm thinking after all this time that since Mr. Wynn has been put on there and we've still been looking for another person, and now we've come up and we're trying to put a time limit on it, you know, we're the longer that we put this off, the more at risk that we have for things happening. And I would like to applaud the commission for trying to come up with something that would help move this along so that the commission can do their job to protect the nation. And I just feel like, you know, bringing this forward, if it's going to, you know, get us moving, then that's what we need to do. And I would be willing to change this. I mean, I think the commission would be willing to change it. And because this still does need to be changed for the future. If something happens to one of those people and they don't get on, then we'll be looking at the same thing. A year from now, we'll be looking for a full citizen or that waives 2/3 of the, well, anyway, we'll be looking at the same thing if we don't change it. And so if we do send this back to the commission and change that full citizen, then it will help us for later on down the line. So I would like to postpone this until the next meeting and let the commission come back with something that gives us, since they bothered to try to help with their expertise. So
We have a motion
I
on the,
make a-
we have a motion on the floor from Representative Golden to postpone until the next BF&J meeting. We have a second from Representative Hicks. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Sandra Golden,
Yes,
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against to postpone NCA 23-145 until the next BF&J meeting. NCA 23-146, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the expenditure of funds for the benefit of the Muskogee Creek Nation's Light Horse Police Department for the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Justice and Security Strategies, Inc., supporting small, rural, and tribal law enforcement agency body-worn camera policy and implementation program grant. Sponsor is Representative Randall Hicks.
Madam Chair, motion do pass.
We have a motion for due pass from Representative Hicks. We have a second from Representative Randolph. Discussion, Representative Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, we have Captain Richard Phillips and Deputy Chief Daniel Wynn.
Mr. Chair, Representative Hicks. With this, we've already been awarded this grant, but this will actually allow us to go ahead and move forward in purchasing the 28 body-worn body cameras, but it does require a 1-to-1 match. Moving forward with the purchase of these body-worn cameras.
Any questions for Chief Phillips? Any questions for Chief Phillips from the representatives in attendance or online? Representative Golden?
I know that several times we've had these grant awards, and I think it's just fantastic that you guys are going out, or somebody's going out and finding these grants to help us with our law enforcement. I'm just wondering, how has the commission been able, have you guys been able to work with the commission? Because sometimes this is like, if you applied for this grant, it was probably a year ago or so before you get awarded the grant. And so now that they're coming in, how are you working together to make sure that you're getting all your ducks in a row for these grants?
For instance, how? What do you mean working with them to implement this?
Well, for example, you're saying there's certain things that you have to do in order to make sure that you've got, you're hiring the people, you're getting the equipment, you're having a plan of implementation, when it's going to start, where it's going to be, how what you already have is working with what you have.
Yes, ma'am. That's actually part of the grants is when they're submitted. So the policies, procedures, who's going to be using them are already installed within the grant process.
So the amount of money, where it's spent, and how it's spent.
Yes, ma'am. We have to submit a budget that goes with it that is very specific on how we spend it, when we spend it, and any other expenditures.
And that's why I'm just asking, how are you working with the commission on doing this?
Well, they have to read it, so we have to send it before them. So if they have any recommendations, then obviously we would take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding this legislation? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
We have 4 in favor, 0 against. NCA 23-146 passes. NCA 23-147, a law of the Muskogee Creek Nation appropriating funds for the 2024 inauguration ceremonies. Sponsors, Representative Randall Hicks.
Madam Chair, a motion do pass.
We have a motion for due pass from Representative Hicks. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Representative Randolph. Discussion, Representative Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe we have Ryan Logan to share some information on this legislation.
Thank you, Council. Yes, before you have a budget for the new 2024 inauguration ceremonies. This is based off the 2020 inauguration budgets, updating it both, of course, for increased ceremonies, both at River Spirit, but also with how much costs have dramatically changed since.
Representative Randolph.
Mr. Logan, at our last inauguration ceremonies, do you know how much we spent for that?
Yes, it was almost 59,000.
59,000.
Our budget was 60.
Oh, Representative Golden.
Yes, Mr. Logan, you said that there is a budget for this, but it's not on here. There is no budget for it.
I thought there was a breakdown attached. I might be mistaken. Lists like food, programs, things like that. It was somewhat generalized.
Here.
I happily send that over. Like I said, my apologies. I thought that was attached. For the inauguration budgets, the significant portions is mostly food, programs and invitations and mailings. So we met with River Spirit to start looking at food costs. They did let us know that things have increased quite a bit. And we did work with the Treasury Department to see what line would most likely fit with this. And so they advised conference seminars and meetings.
Well, I'm just going to say.
Representative Randolph.
How much do we have to pay for the ballroom?
We don't have to actually get charged for that. It's mostly anything they can give us at cost. So we're not actually paying, any rates that, an outsider would pay. River Spirit does a really good job at trying to just keep everything is what they pay for. So we don't actually pay for the ballroom costs. They're waiving that.
Thank you.
Representative Golden?
Yes, I was just going to say that there is no budget with this, Mr. Logan, and I just want to say that, everything else that we do, we require a budget from our citizens, from our communities. We want to know what they're going to spend this money for. Even if it's $2,500, we require that. And it's just not here, so I can't support it if it's not here, not for $100,000. Thank you.
I apologize.
Any other questions? Representative Hicks?
Not a question, but what's the thoughts on the committee as far as postponing before regular session? That way we'll give him an opportunity to email that and have a BF&J prior to regular session. Is that okay with? I'd like to make that motion to postpone until
Any other questions?
so I didn't get a second on my second one. I didn't even finish it, so we'll just revert back to the first motion that I made and for the motion for a due pass.
Okay, we had a second from Representative Randolph. Is there any other discussion?
Logan, can you make sure that we get that budget ASAP?
Yes, I will send it within an hour of this meeting.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Any questions from the representatives online or in attendance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks,
Yes.
Mark Randolph,
Yes.
Patrick Freeman,
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
No,
Madam Chair, you got 3 in favor and 1 against.
We have 3 in favor, 1 against. NCA 23-147 passes. Ms. Killian, what is the funding source for this, please?
It will be interest on permanent fund.
Interest on permanent fund. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Logan. Appreciate it. Next item on the Next item on the agenda, we have referred legislation. We have NCA 23-138 and 139. Ms. Killian, what are the funding sources for these, please?
It will be land acquisition.
Okay, the funding source for both is land acquisition.
Yes, I believe it's titled Economic Development Land Acquisition.
Okay,
Both of those are the costs for acquiring those 2 properties.
okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the funding source for these 2 pieces of legislation?
I make a motion to approve the funding sources for the 2 legislations that were spoken of.
Thank you, Representative Randolph. Do I have a second? We have a second from Representative Golden. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden. Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. The funding source for NCA 23-138 and 139 have been approved. Next item on the agenda is other business. We have MNGE. Who do we have online here?
Madam Chair, make a motion going to executive session.
We have a motion from Representative Hicks to go into executive session. Do I have a second? We have a second from Representative Golden. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Randall Hicks.
Yes.
Mark Randolph.
Yes.
Patrick Freeman.
Yes.
Sandra Golden.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, to go into executive session. Okay, we're out of executive session. No action taken. Is there any other business? Representative Randolph?
I wondered if we could hear from Mr. Haskins about a memo he sent to the BF&J committee.
Mr. Haskins? Here. Okay, Mr. Haskins is not available. So we are, any other business? Okay, next item on the agenda is announcements. Are there any announcements? We have a joint meeting with LNC at 11:30 on Monday. That's prior to planning. Okay. Yeah, we do have a meeting. LNC, joint meeting with LNC at 11:30. We have planning at noon on Monday. Okay, any other announcements? Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion from Representative Hicks. Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay. I'll provide the benediction, which will serve as our adjournment. Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to gather to talk about the business of the nation. And although, Father, sometimes these decisions aren't easy to make, Father, I just pray, Father, that we go before you and ask for your direction and guidance and wisdom. And Father, I just pray that you continue to bless our nation. And Father, as we enter these next holidays, Father, I just pray that you'll be with each of our citizens. And Father, I know sometimes holidays are hard for a lot of people, but I just pray that you keep your hand on them. And Father, that you'll place someone around them that will offer them comfort. And so, Father, again, I just thank you. And again, traveling grace, Father, for those who are here. I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.